Hi, my name is Helen Angelides, and today's quality of character word from me, and what we're going to talk about today, is kindness. Okay? What is kindness? Many people have various opinions. There's random acts of kindness going over. So I decided I was going to ask my sophomore driver ed class. I said, what are the words that come to mind when you think about the word kindness? And they came up with whatever many of us still think of. They said, friendliness. They talked about compassion and caring. They went on to say about, forgiving, which kind of surprised me as a high school teacher that kindness and forgiving would be something that 15-year-olds would say. Empathy and being generous and giving. My definition of kindness is something that was really just drilled to me on a daily basis by my immigrant parents. My parents' most important value that they shared with me, which is why I chose the word kind, was that, just to be kind every day. They didn't really look at any report cards that I ever had in my life. That was not part of what they wanted from me. They wanted me to be kind. As I said, my own definition is be good to others every day and always. Okay? So my own definition, this definition, was stemmed from my parents and the value that they instilled in me. As you can see, my parents immigrated from Greece. They immigrated from Greece in the mid-1950s and have been here their entire life. Okay? They were very fortunate to work hard and be able to afford to purchase a luncheonette as a family business. This luncheonette, however, was in the worst part of Elizabeth, New Jersey, an area that you would not want to be walking down the street at night alone. But there was a value of kindness in what they did in this part of town. As you can see, the storefronts are non-existent. There are empty lots. There are abandoned buildings. If you were fortunate enough to have a store, they were clearly sealed to protect from robberies, because this was a high area of crime. So what did my parents do? Okay, how in that neighborhood were they able to instill kindness? How were they kind? They pretty much were kind to their customers. When customers would come in and they said, look, I can't pay until the end of the week. Can I have food today and pay later in the week? And it wasn't just one or two, it was a few. So my father said, no problem. I'm going to give you all the food you need. Because he remembered what it was like during the Depression, when they didn't have food. So my father was real quick to say, okay, I'll keep a tab on you. And what transpired is many things that were surprising were not surprising. Okay? What was not surprising is that many customers, not all, but many customers, paid their debt as promised. And this was an ongoing thing. They would pay 1 week and they would eat and collect a tab, and at the end of the week they would pay. Their business, their restaurant business boomed in a very poor neighborhood. Something that clearly can put a smile to everyone's face is that area residents were treated with respect. My parents did not look down on anybody because they didn't have money. Okay, they did have money, and they were hard-working people. In an area that, again, was very, very poor. But the thing that nobody expected, my parents didn't, and even now as an adult when I hear the story, nobody expected this. My parents owned that restaurant for over 30 years. And it brings a smile to my face because Betsytown Restaurant was the name of the restaurant. During that time was never robbed in 30 years. And I believe the townspeople, the residents, they made sure word got out that this is not a place that we're going to worry about, rob, take from, because they have given us so much. Okay? Paul, in a letter to the Ephesians, said, be kind, okay, to one another, be forgiving, be tenderhearted, as God in Christ forgave you. This is how we live the Christian life. It is not a random act of one bit of kindness, but in how we should live our life. So why is it important? It continues to be important because kindness and we all live together. We all live together in the world. And one hand, takes care of another. One person takes care of another. Kindness gives everybody hope. When we see it on social media, we smile about it, and then it gets shared, and it gets shared, and before you know it, millions and millions of people have seen this random act of kindness. We are human, and we are all made for love. And when we reach out to be kind to other people, we feel love, even though we're the one that we are giving. Just the appreciation that we get back from something so sweet and so nice and so meaningful. Kindness in sports. Megan Vogel helped an opponent as she was moving on to win her state championship in track in high school. And her opponent had fallen many times. And what had happened is she said, okay, I'm going to help her up. An area that we also have seen many, many, many times is the young woman, Sarah Tukulski, okay, who hit her first home run, and it was a game-winning home run. And as she turned through first, her knee gave out, and she could no longer get up. And if she didn't come around to score, her team wasn't winning that game. Okay, but teammates of the opposing team took her around, touched each base, and they helped her hit the game-winning home run by touching all the bases. Kindness in sports and as leaders, I think it's important that we try to figure out what type of coach we want to be remembered as. Okay, do we want to be someone that is remembered good or a bad coach? These are relationships that we have with our students. It is no different than any relationships we have, but we are talking to young adults. So coaching is a relationship based on our profession. It's based on mutual trust, obligation, commitment. What is good about it? Sports is a great way of teaching values. There's two types of coaching styles. Do you want to be a transactional coach, okay, or do you want to be a transformational coach? And there's differences in both. The transactional coach is someone that their wins and losses about self-worth, and they're in your face, and they're more concerned with the now, and the rewards are only for winning. While a transformational coach builds confidence in athletes and rewards the effort and positive attitude, and it's all about team. And what happens is that a team is much looser when they have someone who's transformational. Coaching with kindness, again, leaves positive impression. The athletes are motivated, they're treated kindly, their life lessons are learned. And that maybe the best part about being a transformational coach is that life lessons are learned. So why kindness? Why kindness? Because for everyone you meet, someone is fighting a battle that you know nothing about. Thank you.